I missed you guys so much.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
It's people.
Yay.
It's you people. I love you people.
I know. We have so much fun together. Okay. Hi, and welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. This is episode 47.
Yay!
And we have, from left,
Amanda.
left,
Jen.
Kathleen,
Haley.
And we're back together.
Yay!
We're the Yarns team.
I know, exactly. I do. I always think the Mickey Mouse show when
You don't want me to sing now.
it's too early in the morning. Too early in the morning. Milk in my coffee. No singing. No singing.
I got my Bluestone. I'm very happy.
Ooh, oh, wow,
Bluestone, our neighbor.
That's a bigger cup than I usually ever find there.
Oh, I always ask for a large.
I do too, but they...
I ask for a large, and they know me now, where I'm like, I want a large, and I want like this much room, and then fill that with half and half, please. Because dairy. I want it to look like melted ice cream, but not as sweet.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'm cutting back on the sugar. We'll see how that works.
Anything this morning at all.
Oh
You're
no.
staring
at
my... Anything?
No, I forgot.
Oh my god.
Now that we're talking about it, now I'm like, oh yeah.
You're like, oh, caffeine would help.
Coffee. Oh.
But I fed the baby.
Exactly. That's
There you
important,
go.
and that has allowed you to be here.
Yeah. Also dairy.
It is also dairy. I'm going the other way. No, not coming in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll get something on the way home.
Yeah.
Bluestone.
I do love Bluestone. And we finally realized that Bluestone, you can get takeout for Bluestone.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
You can get takeout Bluestone.
Yeah, Sasha gets takeout
Yes.
Bluestone for lunch a lot.
Oh my god, and they are so Jonathan,
I love their salads.
I love their salads, but also like their breakfast. And we hadn't gone out for breakfast. We used to go out to Bluestone pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Jean and I
out
went
with
like in November
Right.
once, and it was like when we were still outdoors, and it was a little nippy, but it was still fun. It was still, yeah.
But I realized, I was like, we can call and place an order. He went and picked it up, and like the
'Cause you
kids
live-
got like blueberry pancakes, and I
Nice.
got my breakfast burrito.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Their
Good idea.
avocado toast is so good
Their
with like the
avocado toast is
poached
really
eggs. Oh, I don't like the
And
mushroom.
the bread that's toasted and scrapes the top of your mouth a little bit.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so crunchy.
the
Nice.
multigrain.
Yeah.
Nice
I
sourdough.
love the multigrain. That's
Oh.
so good. Oh, all right, now I'm hungry.
I mean, yeah, with 4 kids and 1 3-month-old, we're not going out anyway.
No,
We're social distancing for other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
but you can get takeout from them.
Yay! Okay, when our picnic table's back up,
Yes,
we'll pretend like we're
Yeah.
in civilization.
It's gonna be almost 70 later this week.
I know.
Here,
I
so.
know. It's going to be
So
60
exciting.
today.
Yeah.
So the question is this spring, or is this like fall
It's faux
spring?
spring. It's faux spring.
It's faux
Yeah,
spring,
it's
right?
faux
Totally faux
Like
spring.
there's gonna be another.
I'm a believer.
That is real spring.
I'm hopeful.
Ever hopeful, like
our
Anna,
dog, Anna.
like Anna Hermano is ever hopeful.
Yeah, I warned Ollie, my little one, today, and he's like, it's like spring, and I was like, you gotta hold up. Because
Yeah.
there could be like a March snowstorm. And
Yeah.
he's like, what?
For everybody
February
participating
snowstorms.
in the sweater cows, don't worry. We've
Yeah.
arranged it. There will be more winter.
You'll have
Exactly,
more cold.
exactly.
It'll be fine.
Yep,
It'll be fine.
always.
It'll be fine.
When we moved from Hoboken to Montclair, there was a huge snowstorm the day before we moved, and then we had so much crap.
Still
We had
snow
2
on the
moving
ground?
vans.
Oh my god.
Well, because Gene still, I don't know if he still had stuff in his apartment. No, but we had a storage space, which with furniture from multifamily,
Photography stuff.
all the photography stuff, and
Oh,
furniture
that's so
from
much
multiple
room.
family members that no one else would take. And so we finally actually had room for all. We had 2 moving vans. I remember them packing the moving vans, running the stuff up the ramps with snow on the ground. And then the day they unpacked them here, it was like 70 degrees. And it was melting like crazy.
That's what
that's
happens,
March. That's
though.
the way.
That's what happens.
March is like
We will have winter,
one thing, one day.
but it won't last for a month like we did in February.
Yeah,
I still have
exactly.
snow on the
February
ground in
was
my
crazy.
yard.
Oh my god, our
Our
yard is
yard's
covered.
crazy.
We have, it's so weird. If you look to our neighbors on the left,
It's
no snow.
always-
Neighbors to the right, no snow. Across the street, getting the
It's
sun,
just like-
zero, hasn't been snow for weeks. Our yard is completely covered.
Well,
But actually,
north.
this year, our across the street neighbor always makes a snowman. So this year, we told her like, please take our snow.
She
so
does.
She can
She-
keep making her snowman.
Gene's done it with her for a couple of years now. He
Like
has.
wheelbarrow over
She like
snow.
brings
She
a bucket.
she
and,
brings
like,
a bucket
shovels
and
it in.
fills it up, so there's like little empty patches where she's gotten snow from our yard for her snowman. She's so cute. She's
And
adorable.
like now
That's
their
adorable.
whole yard is just grass, but then still
There's
has
still a
snow-
snowman.
There's still a snowman.
She
Oh.
repairs it every couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I've never seen such
We should. I should get a picture of the
Yeah, take a
snowman.
picture of your
We'll
snowman.
get a picture of the
That'd be so
snowman.
cute.
Our little neighborhood snowman. It's hilarious. I love it. Very sweet.
Do
Love
you
it.
want to see a snowman?
That's
Oh my God,
right.
now it's in my head.
It'll be at the end of the show.
Good idea.
See, it's a good thing she's singing.
All right. So what else is happening around town?
What else? Vaccinations.
Vaccinations.
I'm fully vaccinated.
Oh,
Yay!
Yay. And I've got my
And I
first
didn't
one
hit anyone with my
today.
hands as I went out.
Yeah, and Jen's.
I'm going to make Amanda do it.
Yeah.
Do
But
it.
she qualifies.
She qualifies right now.
Right now.
This moment.
Today.
This is the thing. If you
I'm
qualify,
hopeful I'm going to lose baby weight and then I won't qualify, but I do right now.
But
You
she's got to
should
get it
still do it
before she
while
gets
you're-
it.
As soon as possible.
If any, and I have friends who are public health, either officials or work in public health,
Mhm.
and what they say is that if you qualify,
Mhm.
go get it
Do it.
because every
Do it.
shot helps.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
don't lie. Don't
Yeah.
cut
No.
the line.
No
Don't
one's
do any
saying.
of that.
Yeah. No one's saying why.
But if you qualify, whether
There's
you
no reason
think the
not to.
qualifications are a valid qualification or not,
Yes.
Well, you wish they weren't.
Yeah.
go get it.
Exactly.
Like I qualified because of my BMI, and I was like, you know what? For the first time, fat phobia is working in my advantage.
That's how I
nice
feel.
Work.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I got no qualms here.
Right, I
Yeah.
got no qualms. I was like, no, I qualified.
No,
I'm
well,
getting that shot.
because honestly, because if either one of us had gotten it, the risk is higher that we'd wind up
Yes.
in the hospital, and that's what they're trying to prevent.
Exactly.
So
Exactly, and also the risk of the level of care you get when you're larger. Anyway, it's a roll of the dice. It
Mhm.
could be great. It could not be great because people generally don't believe fat people. Anyway, regardless of that, it also helps that we're in Essex County, New Jersey, and Essex County is running a absolutely fantastic,
they're doing
like,
a great job. They really are.
amazing job. Like they have a website where you can register, which is essexcovid.org.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because you wind up helping people sign up
And
all the time.
I've helped like 10 people sign up who were like,
Including
I don't know how
me.
to get an appointment. And I was like, oh, listen, let me tell you, between 7 and 8:30 in the morning, appointments drop every,
Mhm.
and they're dropping between like 50 and over 100 appointments
Wow.
for each location every single day,
Yeah,
even the weekends.
even hundreds. I mean, even
Yeah.
there was one, I forget which. So in Essex County, there are different locations based on what town you live in. So for Montclair, we go to what used to be the Kmart in West Orange, but when you go to the page, you see all of the different. What each of the different sites has available. Some of them have had 400 slots.
Yeah.
So if you live in the
Wow.
town that happens to have that location,
Yeah.
but they do all go within a fairly short time. The
Yeah.
day I realized that the timing of what I had originally set up was really going to be bad because I was going to have had my second shot, and I don't do well with vaccinations normally.
Because you have a good immune system.
I have a really good immune
That
system.
reacts
My
very
immune
well.
system pays attention. It was going to be the day before Will Walk started, which if I'm knocked out for 3 days, as I often am after a vaccination, that would not be a good thing.
Not during Will Walk.
No.
That's
Which
not
is
the
already
timing.
crazy. So I was trying to get a different date, and they were just not releasing any that day, and so Jen, got me.
So I got her something.
Got an earlier one. So
Yay!
so excited to be able
And
to
then
do
you
that
cancel
today.
the later one.
Yes,
and everything's
definitely,
good. But like
definitely.
if you're in Essex County, New Jersey, like go to that website because it is amazing. If you live in Newark, you can go to any of the sites. If you live,
This is such a large population.
because there's such a large population. If you
Yeah, they've done such an amazing job with organizing
They
it. Like, as
really
someone who
have.
organizes things, I am so impressed. No, really, I am.
Well,
They've
yeah.
thought about so many
Yeah.
different things.
and I was helping my mom get my mom and dad, and they live in Bergen County, and like looking at the other counties' websites.
No
Not
comparison.
No
Mhm.
comparison.
Yeah.
Essex County is head and shoulders above.
They're doing a great job.
Plus, you can also, if you work in Essex County but don't
That's
live
right.
in Essex County, you are available to get a vaccination in Essex County, and you can go to, I believe, any of the sites.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
So,
I noticed
check.
that was one of the questions. Yeah, do you live here?
check.
Do you work here? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I'm super excited that the teachers are now going to be able to do it as of the 15th.
As of the 15th.
Oh.
mhm. And also, if anyone, so here's another question. Since we know all this stuff and we're sharing all this information, if you happen to be in Essex County and you know someone who's had anaphylaxis who's been vaccinated, tell us how they did
Oh,
it.
yes,
please
please.
comment below.
Please comment
Because
below.
we
need
have
help
someone
with
who is
that.
eligible but has had anaphylaxis recently, and therefore Essex County will not vaccinate her. So,
That's me.
Yeah.
but she does qualify otherwise, so we want to do it. So,
Yes.
We would love your tips as well. Thank
And
you.
if anyone needs a hand in us, it's kind of just shoot me a note. I'm happy to help. I
She's
got to
so
put my
good.
energy
She's so
somewhere.
good. Yeah, exactly. Into something positive and constructive, right?
Exactly. But also, we mentioned Wool Walk. What are the dates of Wool Walk this year?
So,
New
yeah.
Jersey Wool Walk.
So Wool Walk is coming up
Happening at a normal
April.
time.
Yeah, exactly. In
Yay.
April when it usually happens. So we are again doing 9 days this year. It's going to be April 17th, which is a Saturday, through April 25th, which is a Sunday. So it's a full week, Saturday to Friday plus the following Saturday and Sunday again. So plenty of opportunities, for people to be spread out.
Yeah.
We are again going to limit shoppers to 6 at a time, which is our maximum ever in the store. We do have a lot more space than we used to, but to be able to have people be distanced, we're keeping to that limit of 6. And we're really excited about it. I mean, we've got a kind of a new subgroup within the Wool Walk stores organizing it this year, so they're really kind of energized and looking at some new things. The store that organized it for a long time did a really great job, but I think she was a little burnt out maybe by the whole thing.
It's a lot of work.
It is a ton of work.
It's
It is a ton
lot of work.
And like, as anyone who coordinates volunteers knows, even when you've got volunteers, coordinating the volunteers is a lot of work.
Yes,
And getting people motivated to do what they have signed up to do can be hard.
It's like
So-
herding cats.
Pretty
As
much,
one of the cats,
pretty much.
it's like herding cats.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're all one of the giveaways that all the stores are going to have that are participating, and there are 13 this year. Ooh, I should have we'll make sure you have the new website to put at the bottom.
I'll put in
There's a new domain. It's not .org or it was a weird website before. It was like had WordPress in it.
Yeah,
I
it was a
think.
Yeah, it was a WordPress website.
Yeah, and now it's whatever. Amanda will I don't want to say the wrong thing. Amanda will put it in. I'll send her what it is.
It's right here.
Right there. And but it's a beautifully designed website, and it will show you the 13 stores that are participating this year. So with 9 days and 13 stores, so many people are going to be able to do all the stores. I think.
Yeah,
if you
totally.
want, if you want.
It'll
That
be a
would
lot easier to plan out your
Yeah, you
plan
can
of
make your
attack, and
runs.
you don't have to drive
Yeah.
nearly
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah.
We did 8 in 2 days.
We
didn't
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
When
fun.
we
That was a lot.
Yarnia.
It was a long day.
With Chanel.
fun.
It was the
It
three
was
of us and
awesome.
Chanel.
Yeah,
Our
it was
first
super
employee.
fun.
So
Super fun.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So, and who knows, maybe with that many days, we'll even get to visit some of the other stores.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
that would be fun.
Because the stitch markers. So what we're doing this year,
Oh,
and actually, do you
yeah.
want to go grab one of the orange Yarnia stitch markers? Because what we're doing, everyone is going to have Katrinkle stitch markers that if you make a $25 purchase at any store, you get for free an orange Katrinkles.
Should I
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Do you want to go up there?
Go be that. Kelly's gonna
One of
climb
them.
forward.
Oh my
I
goodness.
thought that would be easier. Here we
So, we're doing, and it's not that exact shape, but they are the really cool acrylic Katrinkle stitch markers. Every store is going to have their own color. They're going to have their own logo on it, and there are Wool Walk
focused.
ones that you can buy for $2.50. Which that's what
I love Katrinkle stitch markers.
I do too. I do
have
too.
mine on my
That's
project
so
today.
satisfying.
And we're going to do a mix, as we've always done, of the crochet style, which are the lobster claw,
The
which
little clippies.
Haley showed you, and the knitting style, which is like the fixed ring that fits up to a size 11 needle. And the other nice thing, though, about the lobster claw version, you can use them as progress keepers,
I
too.
use mine as
Yeah.
progress keepers.
Yeah,
I almost
definitely.
always get the clippy ones because I
Yeah.
like them, little project jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're
exactly.
doing your sleeve, you can be like, look at my dangles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, or like I put it in the heel of my sock, like when I started it,
Uh-huh.
so that when I was doing the heel flap, because I don't know, you just go back and forth, and you're
Yeah.
like, wait, how many rows have I done
Right.
with this?
Mm-hmm.
You can count back to the progress keeper, because otherwise, I forget.
That's why
Yeah.
on my heel flap I like a garter selvage. I do the first 2 and the last 2 stitches
Yeah.
of garter because then I can
Mhm.
count the ridges.
The bumps. Mhm.
Yeah, then I forget
The
to
cute
do
little
that.
Yeah, but that's also visible. So like
Yes,
if that's
yeah.
not a look
Mhm.
that you want, then you don't want to do that.
Oh, that was on Evelyn's sock, the garter.
The
selvage.
garter?
That was
I like the
first
garter
time. And then when
selvage.
you pick it up, you pick up the bumps.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's super easy.
I had never done that before.
Fun.
Well, and I do a garter selvage, and I slip the first stitch of each row with the yarn in back, so I have the chained edge, so
Oh,
then
yeah.
I go
Mhm.
into the chain,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hers just had the garter
the
bumps.
bumps, and then you just pick up the bumps.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Cool.
Such a thoughtful pattern writer.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
I love that pattern.
Let me
It's
see.
so cute.
I'm
Oh.
a pattern maker.
Yes.
So actually, another thing around town / around the world is International Women's Day.
Which was yesterday,
Yes.
but
Yes, yesterday
Yes,
as we're
worth
taping.
mentioning.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's the week of International Women's Day.
Yeah. And actually,
165 days should be.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's what my kids say about Children's Day.
Yeah.
Children's
Well, every day is Children's
That's what I
Day
tell them.
normally. I'm like, oh my goodness, really?
Well,
Everybody's
Ollie
gonna
actually
say.
asked me, he's like, why is there a Women's History Month? He's like, what about a Men's History Month? I'm like, listen to the patriarchy. Like, every day is Men's History Month.
But he's not aware of that at this
No,
point.
he is now.
But, yeah.
Like, hey, women's studies. Like, I'm going to drop some knowledge on a 7-year-old who's just like, I want to play Minecraft. Please stop talking to me.
So one of my favorite things that I saw that was done to celebrate International Women's Day is the
London K's.
The crocheted
Kamala
mural,
Harris,
basically.
I'm speaking. She
Did you guys see that?
We'll
No.
throw a
It's
picture
so
in.
cool. It's so cool.
And I don't know, 50 feet more.
It's huge. It's huge.
What?
It's on the side
it's
of a
mural
parking garage or something.
in
It's,
LA. She
yeah.
does a lot of her
wow.
installations in LA, and so we will insert picture here.
and our orange-loving neighbor Gigi.
Did the
Gigi
orange
did
square.
the giant orange square.
So
It was
she
on her
got-
Instagram yesterday.
wow.
She asked
Yeah.
like dozens of makers and designers to contribute to the mural.
It's
and then she
beautiful.
sewed
It's
it
so
on.
cool.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
so cool.
fantastic. Can we also just mention that our Vice President Kamala Harris visited a local yarn store?
Yes, she did.
Yes, I saw that in DC, right?
In DC,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
she totally, and I had so many people say to me, they're like, oh my god! I'm like,
Yeah.
fantastic store. Be like, I wonder what she bought. But apparently, I think she is a crocheter, but also her stepdaughter is she a knitter and a crocheter, or is she just a crocheter?
I have seen her projects, but I feel like it's probably both. But it's like she does sewing and
Yeah, she does
like
all
for
kinds
her
of makeup.
fashion.
She likes
So I'm
all the
like,
fibergraphs.
did Kamala buy for herself? For her family member? I really want to know what was
For her
inside that
stash?
bag. For her stash.
Cool.
So
Very
many
nice.
things. So many
It's
things.
exciting.
All right.
You don't always have to have a project.
No, you don't know now. As we all know.
As we know.
Sometimes those skeins of yarn just kind of say, buy me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm using a pre-Yarnia skein of yarn.
Ooh. I'm using some too. I'm
Yeah.
almost done with it. Almost. All right, let's go
So
to...
yeah, we probably should go on to finished objects,
Finished
right?
objects.
All right. So Amanda, would you like to start?
Sure! I finished my stripes!
Yay! So
you have to
pretty.
say it like that. Stripes!
Yeah.
Because
Because there is an exclamation point in it.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's
Yeah.
podcast.
So soft.
Is it
Yeah,
all caps?
so I
Really?
think
That's
so.
so funny.
Oh, it's
okay.
so cute.
I love it.
I'll do it. I love them.
It's
Like,
so
I don't have
cute.
to take a picture.
Little shimmy.
Yay!
I love it.
I love the colors on you. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's almost
Really
like
nice.
Neapolitan ice cream, but like with a zhuzh.
With a
Yeah.
little pistachio.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Or matcha.
I love that like gray blue color.
So, yeah, so this is
the colors are so pretty.
Andrea Mowry stripes. Stripes! In Wool Hulk flat. So the pattern's written for sport.
Mm-hmm.
I like flat. And I saw the pattern and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want that in flat.
Yeah.
Because flat is boucle.
Mhm.
So boucle is not known for its ability to show lace patterns or
Right.
cable patterns very well,
Right,
right?
right,
Like you
yep.
can spend a whole lot of time doing lace with boucle and you're like, wow, that looks like stockinette.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So you want to go with
Just-
something that
yeah,
is not
so
gonna.
you want to go with something like pretty plain,
Yep.
pattern, like pattern wise. And this came out, and flat comes in so many colors, and you look at them on the wall, and you're like, oh my
So
gosh, they're
beautiful.
gorgeous.
I want to use
together.
all of them. I can't
Yes,
decide, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So I just have 9 colors of flat in here.
So fun.
And yeah, so if you recall though, well, in all my wisdom, the flat is DK. The pattern's written for sport. I'm like, oh whatever, I'll just knit it anyway. Yeah.
How far off could I be?
And a lot. Yeah. So I was off by quite a bit gauge wise. Of course, I was like at 17 stitches per 4 inches instead of 21 and a half. And I didn't bother checking gauge till after I finished the whole body of the sweater.
Did you swatch?
Of course not. But even
the
though,
answer.
I mean, usually I did swatch on my cocoa knit sweater,
Okay.
which is a good thing to do.
Well, that was you hadn't. I was going to say that wasn't a yarn you used before, but I don't think you used this before either.
I
right?
used this before. But even so, I will say, usually I do not swatch, but like once I get, I normally, like once I would get 3 or 4 stripes in, I'd check my gauge.
Right.
Which would have been fine, right?
You kind of swatch as you go.
Yeah.
Because you're okay with ripping back.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Obviously, I ripped the whole body of the sweater back. But I was knitting this. This was my stockinette project while I was feeding Teddy. So it's a little bit hard to check your gauge while you're feeding.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're already juggling enough.
So so I never had it like at my desk. We've got the beats going on.
Yeah, there's a big car parked outside waiting for the light to change. It's gone.
But so I normally would check my gauge at my desk, but this was upstairs where I was feeding Teddy.
And
Like,
it's
I never
hard to
took it
check your
downstairs.
gauge on like you're sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
And
You
you're
have to, like,
spread it
really
on
put
your
it out.
leg.
Put it on a table. Put it on a desk. Whatever.
So it wasn't until I brought it down during knit night that I checked my gauge. And I was like, oops.
And that's after
and
you
a
had
little bit more
divided for
ease
the
than you wanted.
sleeves.
I was finished with the body. I was working on the sleeves during knit night. And so I looked at it, and then I ran out of this darkest red color, which is the here, and it's also another stripe here and the trim. I did run out of that color on the last stripe, and I was like, ugh. So I actually stopped knitting at the end of this light gray, ripped the whole body back. I decreased 10 stitches under each row. Is that right?
And like you left,
I decreased like 10 stitches under each row. So there's like a little gusset under each sleeve. On this
which
sweater.
makes
your
sense.
yoke
That's a
fits
creative
okay.
way to.
Yeah. Well,
to
this is
handle
my
it.
okay. That's also you should like actually measure your boobs when you're fitting a sweater pattern, because we're all like, oh, it says a 36. Well, I'm a 36 bust. Your bra size is this measurement under your boobs, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a cup size that adds to it.
Yeah.
Right, you need to measure like your
The
full
widest part of your
boob
bust.
size.
I mean, if you want to do a quick and dirty thing, if you know, like, oh, I'm a 36B,
Right.
36 is your band size, and that should be essentially your body size. A B is 2 inches more.
Yes. Yeah.
C is
So that brings you up
3,
to 8,
D is 4,
Yeah.
etc. So you can do like, okay, if you can't actually like measure yourself at the time, that gives you a guesstimate. Don't go by that as like a real measurement.
But it's a starting point.
But it's a starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's the other thing, right? Like we've already discussed, I'm eligible for COVID vaccine because I'm carrying baby weight. I'm carrying even more boob weight. So
Baby boob weight.
Yeah. My yiddies, as Catherine would say, is like nice and.
Until you
bosom
start
full.
weighing yourself after you feed Teddy.
Yeah, exactly. I think no, not for my qualification for vaccines. Anyway, no, he doesn't drink 2 pounds at each feeding. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, so I think since like I knit the 38, I feel like with the bigger gauge, and since my bust is definitely not 38 even in normal times, it's more like 41ish. Yeah, 41, 40, whatever. It fits in the bust, but then it would never have the extra 10 inches around the middle.
Around,
Well,
way
way
too
too
much.
much.
Drive you
And
crazy.
your fur
Yeah.
can slightly fit it anyway. Like
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like big box. Like, I love the way Hoagie Locatelli's boxy looks on other
Yes.
people.
Mhm.
I would not want that for me.
Yeah, but that's not what you wear.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, this is like the perfect sweatshirt. I will say, like, the ribbing flet is not like a springy yarn. Blue clay is not springy, right? So ribbings don't spring in. And these are even knit on a, so this is knit to purl to ribbing, but they don't spring in. But they just don't curl, right? They're just there.
Right, exactly.
And they're on
It
a
keeps
smaller
your-
needle, too.
Interesting.
Wow.
I think, too.
It
Pull
just
in-
comes in a little bit, but it doesn't actually like, there's no elasticity in there.
No,
Yeah.
there's no elasticity.
Did you run out, so when you ripped the body back and had decreased the stitches, did you run out of the dark red again? Or did you just make
what
it?
did I do? I came back, so I finished all the body except for the bottom rib. Then I came back, I did the stripe, I finished the sleeve, and then I finished the bottom rib, and I think I'm a row shorter than I was the first time.
Oh, not bad.
It's not bad.
So
Yes.
it came out just
Well, because I
you're-
made it
yeah.
do that. I didn't want to buy another skinny yarn.
Right. For like a row. We
Yeah.
all had to do that. That's such a pain in the neck.
Well, yeah, so just don't. Just like figure out how to knot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make it come out
exactly.
even.
Speaking of things I ran out of yarn on.
Your other finished object.
Yes, my other one, which is a crochet project. I'll take an up close photo and put it in. But this is the Coworker Beanie by Rachy Newin. It's a brand new pattern by our
Yay.
local designer.
And we should
love
do an Instagram
Rachy.
post about this too.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
So I love this hat.
It's sweet. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this one in the store too because I'm not going outside ever. I don't need hats. But I love it. And like if you're not usually a crochet hat person, because no offense, Haley, sometimes crochet is like not that like ribbed stretchiness that
Right.
Yeah.
knitted
Right.
hats give
It's
you.
nice because it lays flat,
Yes.
but it doesn't necessarily have the spring.
Yeah, but this is all done in short rows, so it is the ribbed, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it has
It's
that
more kind of form-fitting.
springiness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's done vertically, right?
yeah, it
Like
is.
sad to-
It's done. So I
Yeah.
think if you saw the podcast last time, you can't try it on as you go.
Right.
That's
True.
the hard
True.
part.
You can stick it up against the side of your
Oh
head.
my gosh, it's so cute
It's
though.
really
It is adorable.
Yeah. Rachy has such great patterns.
Oh,
She
I love
does, and she's so fun.
Like
Love
modern
Rachy.
and fun and cute.
Yeah,
I love it.
but this is in one skein of Mrs. Crosby, the
Steamer trunks.
steamer trunk.
Mhm.
Yes,
Which is
color
right
is it?
behind me,
That's
I
so
think.
pretty.
this is Harper.
I love that.
Harper. Yeah.
So this is not the color, obviously, but
No, that's Boston.
I just happened to be right in front of it. I love this one too, though. I love
Yeah,
this
that's a
one.
very
That's such a
Kathleen
me color.
I was looking at the steamer trunk when I was looking at trying to decide which sweater patterns to do for the sweater class because I was like, I
Mhm.
want to do something with steamer trunk.
Yeah.
It's actually
this
reversible too. Like
Ooh,
the
look
inside.
at that.
The inside
Ooh,
looks
it's
cool.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slightly different texture.
Yeah, exactly. But the Mrs. Crosby steamer trunk skeins are a little shorter
Mhm.
than other.
The yarn is really dense.
It's dense
yeah,
yarn.
It's,
Yeah.
Dense, heavy, drapey.
Yes.
It is 164 yards and 100 grams,
So-
which for a worsted, a lot of times you're closer to 200 yards
Yeah.
Yeah.
and 100 grams.
If you have a
So-
200-yard skein, I knit the adult medium. Yes, I crocheted it.
We're so used to
I
saying knit.
crocheted the adult.
I made.
Yes, I crafted.
Yeah.
But I did run out like on the very last row,
Mhm.
so I had some Molly Girl in my stash.
That had the nice bright pinks and everything.
Yeah, that looked similar. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I seamed it up with.
Mhm.
That was from a hat that I made for Abby.
Mhm. I
Super
did. I
cute.
remember having to do the same or something similar when I made a hat for Jean out of steamer trunk. It was the antler hat, which is
Oh,
have the cables and
the
everything.
Cables
Yeah.
eat up.
I wound up. I was doing the antler hat and with all those cables and everything, and
A lot of cables.
and I think actually it was one where I got the last skein of that color or something. We may have had
Oh,
more in
yeah.
order, but we didn't even have it at the time for me to grab another skein in the store. And so I just pulled back and I decreased a little bit more quickly, and I wound up
Yes.
with like 6 inches of
Yeah.
yarn.
And I was going to say the
Yeah.
antler hat also has a fold-up brim, which I always
I didn't.
forgot.
I didn't do though. I didn't do the fold up
Oh,
for
okay.
him. He's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I
it
don't
would probably
have a
take
We have a hat problem with Jean.
knit with
He's
cables
particular.
would probably take up as much as crochet.
Yeah,
probably
true.
doesn't
Exactly.
that much.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cute.
Ta-da!
Super
Yeah.
cute. And
This
that's
is my-
a... What's the pom-pom?
Oh, this is one of our topped alpaca pom-poms.
Cruelty-free
So
alpaca.
soft.
I love it.
Floof.
So pretty, and I love the colors of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So we
cute.
actually have more of this yarn in the store. We have more of the pom-poms in the store.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a cute crochet hat that's new from a local maker, yay!
Yeah.
Yay. Love it.
Love it.
Very
Yes,
nice.
this will be in the store. I'm gonna leave it. My stripes will also be in the store because, like I said last time, it's not very conducive for breastfeeding. So I'm not wearing literally any pullovers at all right now. I'm just wearing cardigans.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, next
Makes
fall I'll
sense.
take it back.
This is an old finished object. Let me get my hair out of
So
the way.
pretty.
Which is caught. This
I like
is
this one.
the Love Note, and it is in Madtosh Fingering Held Double.
Mm.
This was from last January's sweater class, or last winter's sweater class. I don't remember when it started. So the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I gotta take a gleaner to it because I've been wearing it a lot. Because I like the open neckline and the lace. And I had a couple modifications to this, which I may have put in Ravelry. I may not have. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, what I did was I raised the lace up a little bit. I did fewer fewer rounds of stockinette before starting the lace.
Yeah.
So. And the love note construction is always fun because it starts with a provisional cast on, and then you do the yoke and divide for the sleeves and all of that fun stuff, and then you go back and do the neck. So you can really adjust it the way you want. And I put in short rows instead of doing any decreases, and so
above the lace.
So my provisional cast on was directly above the lace. And then I went into the lace, and then I figured if I wanted more depth, I could add it after the fact.
It's a very clever construction. It really is.
It really is. I mean, there's a reason it's like a super popular pattern.
Absolutely.
It's also like just really fun, and like the sleeves, I used Stacia's trick of I-cord bind off at the sleeves instead of ribbing. I really like it.
Yeah, it's so nice. I actually almost wore mine this morning too.
Did you?
But yeah, I didn't.
Accidental tweak.
Yeah.
That's my only finished object. I got nothing else.
So I'll talk about my old finished object too, just real quick, because when we don't, then people ask, and of course we should say what we're wearing. This is my Staring at Stars cardigan by Alicia Plummer, and it's done in Madeline Tosh Rocinante.
I love that Rocinante.
That's such a good color.
It's so nice. It's so pretty. I think we still have another sweater quantity worth of it in the store. I'm pretty sure.
We do, because I was looking at it for the sweater class.
Yeah, it's pretty. And but it's funny. I sold some of it to somebody recently, and they're like, "That's such a great color." I'm like, "I know. I have a sweater made in it."
I'm gonna wear that tomorrow.
I agree. So I do have a couple of other finished objects, and one I was looking for my sock blockers last night, and I knew I should go to bed because we were doing this kind of early today, so I couldn't find them easily. So unblocked. I have a whole pair of socks. I finished. I'm so proud of myself. I finished a pair of socks. They are the Curling Mist socks by Helen Stewart. Top down. I know, right? Yeah, and I Kitchenered my second toe last night while we were watching a movie. Yeah, the second one is not quite. The first one I was really happy with. I mean, you can't even tell.
One of the things that I do when I'm Kitchenering toes is I take the outermost stitch and pull it over the one its neighbor next to it, so it doesn't.
So you don't get the little pointies.
You don't get the dog ears. But I don't see any dog ears on that, so it's
a little teeny bit there. But also it was not really. No, yeah, exactly. And you know what? I was thinking, but again, we had craziness going on. Our car is being towed out of our driveway this morning. We were leaving.
But that's a good thing.
And it's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
To see whether it's gonna
get fixed,
live another day, or whether it's time to get another second car. But I have clogs that are almost the same color. They're like a metallic version of this. So if these fit with that. Well, we can take a picture at home and you can pop it in if that works.
Or the red ones.
What yarn did you use for that? Can I see?
This is Tosh Sock in the kitten color.
I love this color.
Isn't it so pretty?
Because it's like a gray, pinky. No,
it's nice, like gray brown, gray taupe kind of, and it almost looks metallic. It does. Kitten is the perfect name because the way, like a little baby kitten, there is just so many dimensions in that color. Yeah,
that's one of my favorite sock yarns.
Beautiful.
So yeah, really, really nice squish. I did these on zeros, and I don't know, maybe I don't know what's going on, but I didn't have too much of a problem getting gauge.
I do all my socks on zeros.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a nice, not super thin sock yarn, but it's not too plump either. I think the last time,
the knitted wit was way off.
It's almost.
Yeah,
it's like $3.95.
Yeah.
Knitted wit is definitely
is really plump. It's just very round. It's
dense and tightly wound, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. It is, but it's like for a loose knitter, it can be hard to get loose enough with the gauge. So
then you'll end up with like double zeros.
Yeah, it's like I've had, I don't know. Well, even when we met with Antonia, she looked at my needles, one of our yarn reps. She's like, "What size are you using?"
I know.
Like, you crazy person. And I'm like, same number stitches. It's really okay.
Same number of stitches.
Yeah, but there is something about like the smaller it gets, it's not as comfortable in your fingers. I feel like so. Yeah, Haley and I've been watching a little bit of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast recently.
She popped up on our YouTube recommended videos, and I've been trying to record anytime Amanda says watch recommended podcast. I write it down because we're always like the internet doesn't know what you're looking for when you type knitting podcast.
No.
So I try to keep a running list so we can kind of
connoisseur of knitting podcast. Yeah.
So
But she was talking about how she loves the 9-inch needles, and I was like, oh, I couldn't even get through. I got through like a row, and I was like, this is not
Some
for me.
people really love them, but like for whatever reason, it hurts.
They're
my,
so
it
fiddly.
hurts my
They're so
hands.
tiny.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
can't-
feel like I
use
have
leverage on my outer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do
same
too.
here.
Yep. It just spreads the pressure out a little bit. I don't know.
But
Anyway,
I know a lot of people who
different
love
strokes.
them. It just depends on how you hold your needles.
it
I
looks
guess so.
like it is nice, you know. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're doing it,
They
it
look
looks
cool,
it
but
looks
You
very
just
like
zoom around. You don't have to.
Yeah, but
no
I
wires.
I'm such a magic looper. Like I zoom around a magic loop. I don't even notice that I'm shifting. I just do
Yeah.
it. It's just like I get to the end, and keep
That's
going.
me with double points.
I like wrestling my porcupine.
Yeah, because I just go.
Yeah, so it's different strokes. Whatever works for
Yeah.
you is what you should do. Not
Exactly.
not what anyone else loves.
So I don't have to show them later.
Oh yeah.
So this is my first one.
Yay!
Is that the Gigi Loves Orange?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, which is so funny that like I did the subtle color and Amanda did the orange.
I know.
We were switching it up. We were switching
If
it
you
up
put
this
those
time.
two socks on a table and said who made which, I totally would have been like,
The opposite.
You gotta mix it up sometimes, right?
But I just got to my heel flap on this one, so
Yay.
I've got to do my heel flap and gusset and foot. But it depends. Like that would only take me 2 or 3 days. It's just that I worked on this instead. I've got other projects. So this is my downstairs while I'm in conference calls project. So, and I started a pair of teddy pants. I'll get to that in the lips. So that's what distracted me from my
All right.
socks.
So my second finished object is an off the hook.
Oh,
it is,
yay.
and actually, do you want to
So
put it on the
pretty.
envelope? Do you want to? This is, and I kept counted in here.
That so much.
Isn't it so fun? I had a couple of people asking for kind of a simple. Yeah, go ahead and do a big knot in it. A simple crocheted scarf.
so cute.
This. Sorry for squishing my paper. This is the Ridge Scarf by Ashley Lillis. And I think actually I went to print it out for somebody. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, I do believe. And I think she now has called it the Oversized Ridge Scarf.
Okay.
So she may be either doing a second version or just there were too many things called Ridge. So she put that in to distinguish it.
Love it.
But it's so fun. It's kind of like
That's
the
really nice.
it's like the Gaptastic cowl, but
Yes.
a crochet version. It's so simple. It's so kind of graphic. I love
It's
it.
nice.
It's very squishy.
It's
It is
so
squishy.
squishy. So it was written for a super bulky, but when I thought about how heavy this would be in a super bulky, I said I was going to use 2 strands of bulky held together. So I used Cascade 128 Super Wash.
Ah,
This is the
So nice and light.
dark denim color, I think.
looks
I don't know.
like
It's
it.
one of the.
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
And I used like 5.5 skeins basically. She wrote it originally to be 90 inches long, and I did. I got stitch gauge with with a P hook, I think, but not row gauge. So it was not going to be as wide, and I thought 6 skeins of a bulky yarn is probably as much as most people are going to want to buy to make a scarf.
Well, and also it's a little bit wearable when it's this.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
it's this wide, it's wearable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel like you're
exactly.
I like
this
awesome.
width, but so mine is instead of being 90 inches long, it's like 70 inches long maybe, which is still like you can still
Still
double wrap or
great.
do a big knot or something.
Still
But
really long.
now I'm thinking maybe I'm going to make another one of these for myself, like in a gold or something, because think how cute that would look with the denim jacket in the fall or the spring.
That would look really cute.
I mean, I picked this color because I thought it was a color a lot of people would like, and we had a lot of it at the
Yeah.
time when I started. So.
I thought your scarf was
It's
supposed to be as
almost
tall as you.
At
Yeah.
least as tall as
Yeah, but also when it's so bulky,
Yeah.
it's better to have it be longer because the
Longer?
wraps take more distance.
That's why Doctor Who has a super long scarf. Because he knitted
Exactly.
super bulky.
There you go.
So anyway, this is so fun.
And he's a
This,
tall guy.
this is a store sample. It will live here, and yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it's
This
a
is
great.
crocheted this way, right?
Yes,
It is. It's
as far as
crocheted
I'm-
lengthwise. Yep.
This is a really great, I think, also crochet pattern, like your next, once you learn the basics of crochet,
Yeah.
if you're a newbie,
Mhm.
but also something new and wearable.
It goes
Exactly,
quick, but
exactly.
It's
It's-
a nice finished project.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
This would be a great gift.
Ooh, this.
Totally.
How long did it take to make?
Not long. I mean,
Yeah.
because I worked through like almost 3 skeins, and then I decided that it was just too long. Like I realized I was going to need more than 6 skeins to make it this width, which I like the width. I think it's like 11 inches or something.
Yeah.
I think for that chunky look, you need it to be a little wider. So that's, I don't know if you can see it that far away, but the
I'll
pattern.
take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna daily model it.
Yeah.
A
So.
short sleeve top and a
Yes.
chunky
And a
scarf.
just like on the pattern picture,
Yes,
she's wearing
yeah.
a short sleeve shirt and
Yeah.
a chunky scarf.
It's just a lot of fun, but yeah, I thought it was, really very contemporary looking.
Yeah.
and-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, like, how fun would it be to do, like, one of, like, hold one strand of, like, Cascade 128, and then I'm looking at the LRA Kid Fur, which is, like,
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
and
cool.
soft, and
That
you would
make
get
it
this,
even
like,
more trendy.
cool
Mhm.
tonal.
Mhm.
Actually, that blue, there's, like, blue Kid Fur that's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go grab it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh.
And then you could have, like, a fuzzy fluffy one, and this one is Bluebird.
Mhm.
That would be really cool.
And
Yeah.
it's alpaca and mohair. So, like,
Let me see. Hold on.
Which
Kathleen would not be able to wear it because she's allergic to.
No, not only, well, I tried to make the hat. Haley reminded me
that's
last night,
82
we thought I basically had flu symptoms after working.
no, too
She got a
funny.
fever.
Because I'm allergic to both of the yarns, both of the fibers in it.
Oh my
Yeah.
I'm
goodness.
such a
So don't do that
delicate
if you're
flower.
allergic to it. But like, if you're not allergic to it,
Which
that
most
would be
people
so
aren't.
fun.
Yeah.
Most people aren't.
That would be so fun.
Thank
and
God I'm not
fluffy.
allergic to wool. I wouldn't knit if I were allergic to wool.
No,
Truly,
of
it's like
course
I
not.
knit,
My
so
mom's
much of
allergic
what.
to wool, and that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons she's
doesn't knit
stopped
very much,
knitting.
right?
She
Yeah.
doesn't knit very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allergic to wool does not mean wool feels scratchy.
No, it means like,
That your sweater that you got
It means you break
at the
out
mall
in like a
gets
rash.
feels scratchy.
or you can't breathe. That's
Or
my
you can't
thing.
breathe. Yeah.
I'm, or literally to the point
Yeah.
of.
You cannot
Yeah, I had a fever.
That's allergic.
Such a weirdo.
That's allergic. It feels like it prickles. Not
No,
allergic.
that's
That's
exactly. Yeah,
bad quality wool.
yeah, and that
or
I feel like,
rustic.
Or rustic
and you're
wool.
sensitive.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
yeah.
I dispel
But-
that myth at least once every couple of days in the store
You're not allergic.
because people are like, yeah, I can't wear that. I'm like, have you tried this one?
Oh,
That is
it's
gorgeous.
gorgeous. That's so soft.
Like I'm wearing my Feligarn because it's a cardigan, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is not prickly. It
Mhm.
definitely feels rough. There's
Mhm.
texture, but it's not prickles me
Right,
at
right.
all.
It's yeah. I
Yeah.
also feel like I enjoy that texture much more than I used to. I think
Yeah.
it's just seeing you guys
It
make
becomes
things
preference.
with it. It does.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And like my mom is allergic to wool because she used to wear a lot of wool and she used to knit with wool, and like she will touch the softest, most beautiful like luxe cashmere.
Mhm.
Like I'm looking at the Woolfolk, which is behind the camera, and she
Mhm.
would feel the Woolfolk far, which is like
It's merino.
It's
yeah.
so
baby
lovely,
soft
yeah.
merino,
Mhm.
right? And she would be like, nope,
Wow.
because
yeah.
if she had prolonged contact, like her
Mhm.
skin would
Yeah,
she would
like-
break out.
Yeah.
So like it is very handy when you go to a store with her because you're like, here, feel this, and she's like, it's got wool, and I was like, thank you.
Ah.
That being said, this type no prickle.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say no. This is the
the-
flat is,
The boucle is
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah.
and she would touch that and be like,
Can't do it.
she's like, yes, it's soft.
That's
Yeah.
so sad.
Again,
I
you be
know.
you. Great. You got to
Sorry.
do what works for you. So.
She's good with silk and alpaca. She's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got fancy taste.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not a bad thing to
Yeah.
be cool with.
Yes.
So Haley,
I
do
do
we
not
have
have any finished objects,
Or any new ones. Yeah.
but this is the
I love this.
your
Granite
Yoke
Yoke Tee in, I did
Love
the
it.
single fingering. That is my favorite
Oh my goodness.
fiber, I have to say.
We
I-
could totally. We have all the.
Now we have all the TML. Yeah.
Cashmere light.
You could make another.
You can
one.
make this.
we were just talking about that last night about how she loves single
Well, yeah, I was
fingering
gonna
so
say
much.
what I want to make.
You could-
a
you
store
could make
sample
another-
out of
Make a
that,
store
but-
sample out of this.
Oh, you
TML.
should. Yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
New project ideas.
It looks
So, yes.
so
So these two
Isn't it
were-
beautiful?
Gorgeous. It's just
Actually,
beautiful.
all of this is all trunk show. These
Yeah.
two are
Backyard
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 fibers,
Fiberworks.
and the middle one is rhythm knits.
Mm-hmm.
So
So beautiful.
now we
Very
will
nice.
have our very
And I
own-
loved it with your earrings too.
Yes, I am wearing my fancy
Montclair
earrings that I got on Etsy.
Aw,
Love them.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's that texture, like the single fingering and the
It's
the
just
texture
gorgeous,
of the
and the
crochet.
color of the bottom one,
Oh,
the pooling is
Mhm.
just so
Just-
pretty.
love it.
And I never I guess I never blocked it because this is rolling. But it actually fit me better this time. It's a little bit looser. It just loosened up.
There you go.
Yeah, that could be.
Sometimes with wearing. Yep. A little
Yeah,
bit.
you should totally make us draw sample out of the TML.
And say what your mod is for the stripes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
Just
so
a little bit.
the pattern itself was just plain, but going along with like Andrea Mowry's like made popular kind of
The
like
fade
line changes.
Mhm.
I was going to do that, and instead of doing 2-1-1-2, I just did block color, one line of the second color, one line of the first color, and then changed.
Oh.
But it created a really nice like
It's a nice little blend.
almost
In the linen stitch, it looks like notches almost.
It's
really cute.
pretty.
Really
It almost
cool.
looks like those like 80s, 90s like bowling alley like pizza place like it's giving me that. Like the cup, the little white cup with the design.
Oh, the Greek tea design.
It's giving me that vibe. Not necessarily
interesting.
that.
Okay.
But yeah.
You can tell Haley's the youngest of all.
Yeah.
It didn't actually
Has not worked
look
in New York
that-
City yet.
Do not I love it. I think
It's so pretty. It
Gorgeous.
really is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love so much about singles too, like especially single fingering, is there's always a bit of a sheen. There's just something about the fact that it's not plied. You see the beauty of, the long strands of fiber in the yarn.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
it's
so
really lovely.
they always have such a nice look.
And it takes color so beautiful. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. I
nice.
want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
I know. All right, so what do we have next? We have on
Do
the
you want
needles.
to go with on the needle? Should we go back or do we want to go back this way? I don't care.
Okay.
Why don't you start again? Just
go.
so.
Me?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that who's
like
buzzing?
this.
It's incredible. That's
Yeah,
what
it's nice. It's really
Oh, I
nice.
really like this.
Okay, so let me tell you about my work in progress as well as some new story that Jen's gonna
Yeah.
sit here and fondle while I work on.
Drape myself in it.
Yeah, so I've told the story before. I picked up a skein, actually this skein of yarn when I was at my parents' house. They live in Huntsville, Alabama. And so there's a really cool little yarn shop there, which I currently forget the name of because I haven't been to Huntsville in a few years, but I'll put it down below. They're really cute. You can pop in. They also have apple tree knits. I'm like,
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
That's amazing.
New
Yeah.
Jersey yarn.
Yeah.
When they go to
Love
parents' house in
her.
Alabama. So yeah. Anyway, so I picked up this skein because we were looking for sport here, and I was like, I'll try out a sport. Like I always want to pick up something, and
Yeah.
it does
Right,
double
right.
duty. Like I can
Exactly.
try something new out.
I love
So when I tried was when I was looking at it, trying to pick out something to knit on while I'm feeding Teddy, I pulled out this skein, and then I ordered the navy and the natural from them. If I'm going to seriously try it, I'll make a project with it. And I'm making the Drachenfels by Melanie Berg. But you got to be careful because my needle's short for the length
for
of
the
my
number of
stitches.
you
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
So
pretty.
I'm to the third section. It starts down there on the end
nice.
with like the little
Tiny little
point,
Yep.
and then it's just garter stitch. Like if you want TV knitting, this is awesome TV knitting.
Yeah.
It's just back and forth and back and forth. I know it's really plush, right?
Love it.
Like
Yeah.
it's super squishy.
Nice and springy.
This
Yeah.
yarn is so springy.
And talk about like no prickle.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
really
it looks,
nice.
It's so
it looks
interesting.
and
It feels
a little rustic, but not.
but when it's knit up, it does not. It's not. Yeah.
It's
not
buttery,
scratchy, not
right?
prickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really liked it.
Oh, that's great. It's kind of magical.
So Drachenfels by Melanie Berg is a lovely pattern. It starts out, these are some little slip stitches. It's not like stranded color work or anything.
Yeah.
And then you do these stripes for a while, stripe, 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 change color, stripe, stripe, stripe. And then you end up with this color. And then at the very end, there's a little bit more of the slip stitch pattern, which I might get to this week. But this is what I was working on. This was my first I'm Feeding Teddy knit project. This was my second I'm Feeding Teddy knit project. But now the he's getting faster at eating and the rows are getting longer.
really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can only finish like maybe 2 ridges when he eats every time.
Yeah.
So it's going to take me a little bit to get to the end, but that's okay. He's still got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so this is Imperial Yarn Tracy 2, which I have all the colors out here. I was digging in the boxes. I literally just got them, except for this one. So this is one of the colors. This is Rain.
Oh my goodness. Can't blame the orange.
Yeah.
The red and the navy.
So pretty.
Oh, I like the 2 purples.
Right. Yeah. They only had a couple of
Yeah,
sweet plum.
and they made a couple more substitutions, and I was like, yeah, just send us
Send
us what you have.
yeah.
Send us, you know,
Yeah.
because she was low on some things.
So
But
this is all American wool, milled in the USA.
I love that.
Never crosses a national border.
The label, it
And
says climate beneficial.
Yeah.
There you go.
100% American grown and American made Imperial yarn, and this is not superwash.
correct. Yeah.
And it's fantastic, and it's a sport.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot more sport patterns popping up.
Right.
Mhm.
This is a sport pattern.
Yeah.
This would actually really work nicely in 9 colors. Yeah, if you
I
wanted
love
more of
it.
the primary.
Or even,
one.
you know what I think would be fun to even just stripe 2. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've seen
Yes.
people do 2
She
or 3.
actually has
You know.
in the
Yeah.
pattern design, right?
Yeah.
Like there's the 9 stripes, and then she has the alternating stripes
Yeah.
as an option. This is the long sleeve version of the pattern. She has a short sleeve version, like a mid sleeve version of the
How
pattern.
cute.
Yeah.
This is the wider neck. There's also like a more close.
Oh, I didn't realize there were so many variations.
So
Cool.
there's
Yeah.
And there's
It's
a
a
lot
good-
of colorwork patterns too that have like
Yeah.
colorwork yokes
Oh,
and
yeah.
sport.
Yeah,
that
there's
this would
definitely.
be great.
This
Like I
is
love
so
like the
nice.
teal and the white
These
and the
together.
navy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
The teal and the
the
orange would be
orange.
pretty.
Oh, that would be so fun.
yeah. It's so good.
So great.
There's the gray. This
Oh,
is
and
like
the
a
gray.
steely bluey
Yeah.
gray.
I love it.
So I'm doing that and the gray
so
and white.
pretty.
Yeah, but there's a good variation of
This
like
is
gorgeous.
tones too, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got the darks and the mids and the lights.
Yeah.
It's a very classic looking yarn. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's you guys have to feel this. Like this is
so
really
It feels
you
so
look
good.
at this and you're thinking like, oh, this looks like a nice workhorse yarn, and then you feel it and you're like, oh, this is
It
so
really is
squashy.
Like I want to make a sweater in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I found.
So
So I'm super happy that we're bringing in some Imperial yarn. They have
Yeah.
other bases too,
Yeah.
so we'll see over time.
Yeah.
But
And I love that it's
this is
American made,
fun.
American grown.
Exactly. Well, me
Mhm.
too. Especially, I think, at least we, from a, store owner and dealing with distributors, have like realized how much we do depend on overseas production.
Supply chain.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
poor Italy. Like so much of the fiber
Oh.
is milled in Italy, and they were shut down for so long.
So long.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
there's
hard.
still shipping disruptions in a lot of places.
Yeah,
And,
but the U.S. had an amazing spinning tradition. Like
Oh yeah, North Carolina.
I mean-
Carolinas had a huge
in
mill
Pennsylvania
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and up
so-
near Boston. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But it's like almost all gone.
Mhm.
And
And
because
where are
we're
they
buying,
out of? Where are they?
They're-
Colorado or something?
Somewhere in the West. I forget. Oregon? I forget. Sorry.
Does not have an
that
address
too.
on it.
Put
It's
it in.
1871, so it's probably
Mhm.
I say,
But
So it's
Western
yeah,
Mass.
but yeah, so I'm
de-
like
definitely somewhere. Yeah.
become a little bit more aware of like, okay, if we
Mhm.
want American mills to be around,
We
we
gotta
should
support
them.
them.
Yeah.
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 Well, and I think
Seek
it's
them out.
also great that a lot of smaller companies like Imperial Yarn and I think also like Calborn Woolens are doing things like that where they're supporting the smaller companies are coming in as the larger companies have left for whatever reason, whether it's textile or not necessarily direct to consumer kind of thing. But smaller companies coming in and saying like, hey, it's important to us to have this milled locally.
Mhm.
Locally
Yeah.
being, you know,
Yeah. It also makes an impact on your carbon footprint.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
Like if-
definitely.
You don't
If
have
it's
to-
coming from overseas.
It's not being shipped
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah,
times
the
across
wool has
oceans
to
and
go, it
things,
has
you
to
know.
go, it
Yeah.
has to go.
Yeah.
it's great.
For
I
sure.
love it.
For sure.
Love it.
Yeah,
It's so
and
nice.
and for folks who come into the store, we now have a dedicated sport cabinet.
We do.
So
Yeah.
we
Sport
pulled,
cabinet.
you know, with this going in later
Yeah.
today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we had one thing, phenol garn we had in our fingering section because it's kind of a gauge shifter a
It
little
bridges,
bit. People use
yeah.
it as fingering, people use it
Yeah.
as sport. So that's now over there. So we've just done a little bit of shuffling. We've got our cabinet of fingering, we've got our wall of fingering, and then the next thing is our sport cabinet. So we've got our LRA Cashmerino sport, we've got a hole waiting for this. Stargazer is sport actually, which was
Stargazer
in our,
Fine.
Stargazer
oh no,
Fine.
Stargazer.
Just regular-
yes.
yeah,
'cause
Stargazer.
Then there's Moonshine Fine.
right,
Yes.
right, and that was the other new one. So that is
Yeah.
already in there.
A lot of great options.
Yeah, and then
a
the
lot of
phenol,
really great options.
you know, our million colors of phenol garden on the bottom shelf.
The rainbow.
Which that I've been carrying around I haven't bought the pattern yet, I will buy it, but I've been carrying around the pattern page from Ravelry to remind me of Barrett, which you were talking about with the Knit Night for sport weight projects. And it's so funny because I'm looking at all the colors we have, and I am such a creature of habit. I love my gold and gray. I really do.
Well, they're the colors of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like,
yellow,
thank you,
and
Pantone,
gray.
for catching up with me.
Pantone should have just said, Kathleen.
So
wait, what else do you have?
Yeah, so what
Okay,
else
I'm going to
is...
be quick because I actually do have to go in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm making Teddy some more baby pants. So these are the Imrebukse by Mini Modes that I made him in the gray. And now they were 0 to 1 month, and now he's growing out of them. He can still fit in them.
He's so cute.
well.
Oh my goodness, he's the best dressed baby too. He really is. I saw him in his little pants. I've seen him a couple times recently.
I mean, the baby pants are awesome. Oh my goodness!
So
like if you're wondering, should I make a sweater for a baby? Make pants. They're great.
Try the pants.
Yeah. So I have finished the booty of these pants, and now I'm on the legs. I just divided for the legs.
Cool.
But yeah. So this I'm using the Ella Ray DK.
I like it.
Which is a relatively new yarn for us.
Yeah, which is
haven't had it too long.
And it's nice heathery green,
I
so
love
which
that
will
green.
go with like a lot of his wardrobe, which is I usually use like neutrals and yellows and browns and greens for babies because I have a lot of them, and I want to change from one gender to the other if I had changed from one gender to the other, but now I have 3 boys in a row.
Yeah.
So whatever. I know.
Yeah.
God.
I can't find them neutral colors, so I was like, surely I can't have
Yeah.
3 in a row. I have 4 girls in a row and then 3 boys in a row, because that makes sense.
There is something statistically where
I
they
think
say that though. I've read that
It
if
makes
you
it like 50. It increases it 50% after the first one, and then like it's 50% more likely that it'll be the same.
which
Wow.
kind of
then
seems like it makes
that
no
makes
sense.
it
But
against the odds that after 4 in a row.
I know.
And-
I
but
worked
then it,
on
like,
this. There's a
it's
book.
But there's also like an age
How
thing
to
going on,
have
too.
a
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
there's
yes.
also an age thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. Not your age.
What?
Jeff. The gender
Oh.
depends on Jeff.
Bless his heart.
Right.
Well, no, there's a book from the 70s, How to Choose the Gender of Your Baby or something like that.
Oh yeah.
All the things you can do. Drink coffee beforehand. He drinks coffee beforehand. Makes his swimmers faster. All those kind of things. I read that book like it was the Bible. After 4 girls.
After 4 girls, you're like,
And hey, yeah, you got your 3 boys.
Yeah. So, yay.
There you go. I guess there was something to
I
it,
think
right?
it works.
Yeah.
Whatever. If it didn't, it cost me $7 at Amazon, so whatever.
There you
you're
go.
fine. All right, I'm gonna go to any more.
That's enough for today.
I love the coordinating project to project.
I know,
That's
right?
all.
It was just
We've
it
been
was
working on the
not
Cocoa
on
Knits
purpose.
knit along.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah.
We're working on it. It's going.
I'll
show you
there
next
in the
time.
background.
Yes, we've got a lot. It'll continue going.
I have my summer sorrel. You know what? I
What
did
did
have a
you
finished
decide?
object but I talked about it last week. Where's the Marie Chen? And I still don't have buttons. So this is
But
my
you wore
other.
it. It was really cute.
I did wear
It was
it.
really pretty.
It was
yeah,
still
It
wet.
was really nice.
So I'm on Sleeve Island with the summer sorrel.
And what did you decide to do about your sleeves? What kind are you making?
I think we should count
Are you
body.
doing-
I
Are
am
you doing
going to
bishop,
do.
or-
I'm going to do bishop sleeve. So I'm
Cool.
going to do. I
Okay.
realized just like this. So I'm going
Uh-huh.
to do, and also because I will get off Sleeve Island faster, even though it's slightly more knitting, because I don't have to pay attention to decreases.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go straight down. I'm
Mhm.
going to decrease at the end. I'm going to do them a little bit longer, so they'll be about to here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have
so
to say these sweaters are going to favor. Like they're very similar.
they are. I have a color. Like the
We
greens.
do.
The grays and the blues.
Yep. And
gray,
I'm
blue,
like
purple?
The oranges and peaches, and then
Yeah.
the greens and the
Yeah.
yellows and grays. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that, and it'll basically be I'll wear this sweater kind of like I wear this sweater, which is to say like it's a bit transitional,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wore this in the summer when it was cold.
Yep.
I've worn it in the winter, just depending. It looks cute over a dress, which is why I did a slightly cropped thing, and I ended up doing twisted rib on the bottom, but really
Nice.
loosely. So I
Uh-huh.
could block it out.
Yeah.
So I like things to be boxy and to go over these roles that have not gone away after children. So, yeah. So I have the summer sorrel, which I'll get there, but I'm also easily distracted. This is in Madeline Tosh sock, in something that I had in my stash from ages ago. But we have stuff that's similar, actually. I'm looking over at the Madeline Tosh one.
Yeah,
it's like,
we do.
Oh, that reminded me that I took the last Librarian's Dream Tosh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a pretty color.
For the next Sock Society sock. But I was gonna say, we're gonna have to pick our colors to come in August. Like, this is how long it takes.
So was August the first date they had? Is that why our first date is August now? Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
But
March.
yeah, if folks are like,
6
I
months
really
out.
love this color of
6
Tosh,
months
and you're
out,
like,
wow.
yeah.
You planners out there,
Let
tell
us
us
know
what
what
colors
color
you want us
you
to
want.
carry.
And we will include it in our order.
Yeah.
And you can also just say like, oh, you know what, I'm looking for something in the pinky range.
Yeah.
But what kind of
Yeah.
pinky?
But tell us what kind of pinky. Do you want like pinky?
Because there's
And
only
some
about-
of them we have now also.
There's only like 40 options for pink.
only.
Right. So
It
that's
is
why,
so hard to pick colors.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody's like, I love this color of Tosh, right? Let us know. Because
Yeah.
because we need help.
I mean, help. Otherwise, we'll default to I'll pick the same colors over and over.
Well, yeah, we
We do
guess
that.
at what everybody would like.
We got a few new
We
ones
try
last
we
time.
try to
We
mix
did.
in new things.
I love them.
Because it's
Yeah.
but Madeline
Like
Tosh is
Librarian's
hard.
Dream, which is now
Yeah,
gone.
I love it.
Because
I
it's
know.
beautiful.
Yeah, so pretty.
So the reason I'm still on Sleep Island with the other one is because my sweater class started, and it's the Snedronningen.
Snedronningen.
Amanda needs to tell us how to
Snedronningen.
pronounce it. We decided this in the class on Sunday that
none
of us
I
can
knew
pronounce
it after the last.
You know what?
hold on.
Because
It's
I
like
had
the
people,
Snow Queen in
It
Danish.
is, yeah. I had people saying they wanted to buy it, not knowing how to pronounce it.
Yeah,
so
me
I
neither.
did. I googled it, and yeah, it's Snedronningen. There's an extra. Snedronningen.
I feel like it's probably pronounced exactly how you spell it.
It is.
It's
it
by
is.
Isabell Kraemer.
But it's where you break the syllables. Yeah.
Yes, it's a
Snedronningen.
beautiful colorwork yoke sweater. And I'm doing mine in
Snedronningen.
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 Yeah, Snow Queen.
Sure.
Snow Queen.
I'm doing mine in Knitted Wit
feel like we should
Dusty
ask people.
Sophisticate, and my contrast
So
color for the
pretty.
color work is the Spun Right Round in Tonic, which
Love that.
who knows what you can see. So
Oh my goodness.
I know.
see your
And
swatch.
I feel like it's
Isn't it
very
so
Amanda
pretty?
swatch. Now,
So pretty.
I
Oh my
decided
God.
I wanted something that was very low contrast, and a lot of the folks in the class are doing stuff that's a little bit more high contrast.
I'm
And
gonna
I
get
was
up and take
also
it
like,
so you can see this.
I was very looking. I feel like I do this
Spectacular.
in every sweater class though. When people show me what their yarns are,
Look
it's
at
like,
that.
oh my god, that's so pretty.
Oh
That's
my
so
gosh.
pretty. That's so pretty. Everybody has such.
No,
pretty
this
picks.
is so pretty.
I love
This is
This is like an
incredible.
Amanda pick, right?
It
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
interesting when people were
Just
coming
thinking
in
of
for
it.
their
I was
yarn
like,
this
I love
time.
that.
I helped a bunch of the people knew what they wanted this time.
Yeah.
Because you have so
Very
many,
decisive.
repeat people too. Like
Yeah.
they're
They
just
do.
more experienced with it now.
They do.
They're
Oh my God.
yeah.
We have a bunch of people using Scout and some really gorgeous color combinations,
And then Alpaca Soft is
Yeah.
another one, right? Yeah.
And Lee is doing Knitted Wit, and she's doing a gray base, and then she's doing minis that are different colors for
Oh
the
my
color.
God.
It's
Fun.
so pretty, and I was like, oh. So we
That's
started
great.
that, and I
really like your colors. That's
I
really
am really happy. I did a little swatch in the round so I could show them the kind of contrast thing, and I could also show them. I didn't block it until the day of class, and I had the steamer going, so I like fogged up my computer. And I was like, "Look what happens when you block! So stop stressing out about uneven stitches."
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
how many stitches did you cast on here in the round to know how to do your... is
Okay,
it the
so
width
this
of the-
was what I did. Was I did 4 repeats of the of the colorwork stitch pattern.
Okay.
Cool.
So including the increases. So it ended up being 40 at the top, or maybe it was 44. Maybe I did 5.
Right,
repeats.
does it go this way or it goes...
So
Yeah, it
this
goes that
is so this is
Yeah,
Top
it's like
down,
this.
right?
it's
Mhm.
top down.
It's top down. So this was the neck, which was I think 16. I think it was 16 stitches, and then it has lifted increases, which is not necessarily familiar to a lot of folks who are used to the make one lefts, make one rights.
Mhm.
Yeah, so does the coconut.
Yeah. But I think it's a very invisible increase for colorwork.
Mhm.
Was it you we were talking to? No. Who were we talking to about the lifted increase? I'm not using it in the coconuts. because it made holes, but this is a much denser fabric.
It's a much
Somebody
denser
said
fabric.
that the lifted increase works best when you have a more dense fabric. They use it in their toes of their socks.
Yes. Lifted increases
That was-
definitely,
If we were talking about socks.
if
But there
you,
was.
lifted increases in color work better also because any holes that you would see are kind of covered by the flow in the back.
that makes sense.
Right. That
So
makes
it's
sense.
still a little bit dense, and also you can kind
Mhm.
of control which color you're doing it in, like
Yep.
the way that the chart works out. So I showed everybody how to do German short rows.
Wow.
And I said, get to the point of the color work, but don't go past it yet. Unless you want to.
Cool. Very nice.
But if you're worried. So that's my other one. That's
Great.
it. I have it actually on the needles, but I don't know where it is. Oh, and this is my swatch where I knew which needle size I was going to do, but I needed to show what slightly too big it would look like.
Good. Very nice. Yeah.
That's
so
my
wiggly,
work
right?
in project. I know, I thought of you.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Well, it
like,
looks a little bit like my
this is Amanda colors.
spag. Yeah.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
I'm super happy with.
So pretty.
Totally Amanda
All
colors.
right. So also on Sunday, and I accidentally kicked your group off.
That
like
is
a
fine.
minute
I went over.
before.
I was like, see ya. Cut off.
I'm doing well, I thought I was doing something wrong. I'm like, what am I doing? I can't get in. It says there's a meeting in progress. And I'm like, yeah, meeting was in progress. All right.
Sorry, I talked over.
So I'm doing a Carbeth knit along, and we've got, I don't know, we had like 14 people sign up, and I think a dozen joined on Sunday,
That's
which was
great.
nice. Yeah, it was a good, for a knit along. It's like, it's not the same kind of commitment as a class.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm doing Eco wool in ebony, which I really wanted a black sweater, but they were out of the Eco Plus in black. That's one of those backward, don't know when we're getting it yarns, so I'm probably going to do yet another one when we do get it.
Or like I said,
cute.
you
Or I
could
could try
always
to dye it.
over dye it.
But so I have, it was really interesting. We have people who, it's their first sweater. We have people that have made many sweaters who always wanted to make a Carbeth, whatever. But one customer who came in to buy her yarn, like a day or two before we started, said, I'm going to color block it. And I thought, since I'm doing, I really wanted a black sweater and I'm going to have a brown sweater. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to color block it too. So this is what I'm going to use for.
My cardigan.
That's what
I
yours
love
is in,
the
exactly.
size
So
of
they
the
got metal.
stains.
I know.
Oh,
They're so
wow.
fun. So this is going to be the body, and this is going to be the sleeves, which then go into the neck. And the latest dilemma, which the person who originally said she was going to color block it figured out before anybody else, is, how doing intarsia in the round is not easy. There are definitely ways to do it, and I saw your comment about the sweater, but that wasn't really in the round because of the gap.
True.
Right? It was really
not
going
in the
back and
round.
forth.
It was going back and forth.
So we've, I don't know, I talked about a few things I did, and it was cute. So the one, Aisha, who's started the color blocking thing, sent me links to a few different
buttons up your neck like a toddler.
There you go. That would be one
That's
way
a
to do
cute
it.
look, though.
It is cute.
That's how you do a pullover for breastfeeding.
That would be.
Oh yeah, that's
oh
a
my
good
goodness.
idea. Yeah.
Well, too late. Last baby, not doing it.
So what I think I watched a bunch of videos that she sent me on, how to do intarsia in the round, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do it in pieces, like from the sleeves up, because there is one thing with the Carbeth on one side, and I forget whether it's your knit two togethers or your slip knit. It may be the slip knits. It just, there's not enough structure in the fabric to support the weight of the whole sweater, and it always pulls a little bit apart. Like when you wear, I've seen it on virtually everyone I've ever seen. There's a little bit of difference. So I was thinking, if I just do the pieces, I'll probably do the front and the back first, and then I'll come back and do the sleeves. Those stitches will be tighter because they really will be the end of the row, and I'll add a selvage stitch, and then I'll seam them. And then actually not only will it make it easier than doing intarsia in the round, it'll address something that always kind of bothered me the tiny bit about the way it fits. So I'm excited about that.
And I've seen, and I can't remember where the trick originally came from. It may have come from Karen at Fringe. She did sweaters in the round, raglans, and it also bugged her, like it pulled a little bit. And what she did was she inserted a purl in between at the raglan seam line, and then after the fact, did the whole thing in the round after the
and
fact,
then seamed over
seamed
it.
those two next to each other to give you both the ease of working in the round and the stability of a seam
Right.
on a raglan, which can pull depending on how you knit and depending on the weight of the sweater and all of that. That doesn't solve your intarsia problem.
No,
But yeah, I feel like I've
Now
seen
I'm like,
something
how do
on
you
that
do
recently.
intarsia in the round?
I think it's short rows.
Well, the
Oh, yeah.
one way is short rows. There's a few different ways. One way is short rows. Another way is basically, and it was fascinating. I watched like this full 15-minute video because I'm like, that actually makes sense. I forget what her name is, but she was showing, using a little argyle pattern as her example, and basically you leave a long loop of your
Like a
other
float.
color, like a long float, but then. And basically, even though you're working in the round, you do work the front and the back. And then when you come back to it, it's already overlaid, so you pull enough out. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but she did it. It did work. And I was like,
I can see how that would work.
if I really wanted to. The other thing I thought, I remember way back.
My crochet brain is like,
I remember
that's clever.
way back at Sticks and Stitches, there was a teacher there who, she used to just try all these different crazy things just to do them.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing about knitting backwards. And I'm like, that would be another way to do it. Yeah, instead of purling, knitting backwards. So you could literally go back and forth. And
without having to flip it.
Without having to flip
But you
it.
still
So
have
that
to join
would be,
it. Like
I know, but that would allow you to do it. It would allow
That
you to
allows
have
you
the
to do
4
entire
different
Yeah, so
panels
then you-
of yarn. But anyway, I'm unless somebody can talk me out of it, my plan is to do it in pieces because it is gonna.
Yeah.
Number one, it's a really long row length when you join the sleeves to
The longest row you're going to get in the entire sweater
in
is
the
that
entire
joining
universe.
row, where you're just like, this is a million
This
stitches.
is endless, and it is nice because it really does decrease every other row. It goes fairly quickly that you see the difference, and you've got to shorten your cord if you're using interchangeables or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that by knitting it in pieces, I will address that other issue in a pretty straightforward way. And, Amanda's been so into seaming for so long. She's gotten me to love seaming.
I love seaming.
So it doesn't bother me anymore. I think it's fun. So there we go.
I don't mind
That's my
seaming,
thing.
but I still default to the round.
I have to
How are we
re-seam
doing on
sometime.
time for you? We're
I
close.
might have
You
to.
go.
I'm gonna go actually and let you guys finish up.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Amanda had to go into her other meeting, but we are still here, Jen, Kathleen, Haley,
hello.
to talk about some more works in progress.
Yay!
So,
Yay.
right now, my two main whips are 2 sweaters. So, my Carbeth, and the other is the Avalanche, which was inspired by Jen.
I still haven't started mine!
And I don't know why I keep taking off my grippies that are holding my needle in place, like I'm trying to make my stitches fall off the needle. What is wrong with me?
Gotta keep your grippies.
Keep my grippy. So this is
Oh, it's so pretty in the tweed.
isn't it? Yeah. It's so funny. Usually I feel like I either find a pattern and then I find a yarn and I'm like,
Oh my
yes,
God.
good to go. Or I find a yarn and then I find a pattern and I'm like, good to go.
Yeah, it's usually not the indecisiveness.
I had so much indecision on this sweater. I bought
Welcome to my world.
I bought 4 different patterns before, and you had mentioned this one, and
Yeah.
I just
It's gorgeous.
thank you. I'm really happy with it.
It's really pretty.
There was something about I almost did the Weekender. I think I have that pattern now. I don't know, there were a few different ones that I was like
Going back and forth.
Going
between
back
what are you
and
gonna do? And you had the yarn, right?
I bought the yarn because I knew I wanted. Well, originally I think I was thinking about making another Felix, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I love the Felix, but I should make something other than a Felix.
I have a hard time repeating sweaters, and this is, I think, the only one, the Love Note, where I repeated the sweater. But the first one I did was mohair.
You did. It was so
and
different.
fingering,
because
and
of-
this one
yeah.
is different. So
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that's it. But I was thinking about doing another Felix too.
Yeah, I mean, and I may at some point, but and I was gonna do I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's pumpkin or whatever. I was gonna do the more orangey one.
Pretty.
But then I saw this purple, and it's like, for a long time, purple really was always one of my colors. I still have a lot of, like, some of my older things in my wardrobe are purple, and I
Those,
do
like,
love it.
Halloween-y colors almost. You had like
I
purple,
know.
green, and orange.
Yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
autumn palette.
Totally autumn palette, totally. So, one of the things I love about this is the open work on the front. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
nice.
I think when you have a dark color, and I plan to wear like gray or a hot pink turtleneck under it, so
Ooh,
you'll
hot
get
pink will
those.
look cute.
Look, it has hot pink flecks, and I
the
have a hot pink
flecks
turtleneck.
Does.
Perfect. It'll
So-
bring out the flex because there's green
Yeah.
and purple
Yeah.
and pink.
This
And, like,
is
lilac.
the Calburn
Light pink.
Woolens Lucky Tweed.
In raisin. This is the raisin
it's
colorway.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, so...
and Avalanche is by...
Heidi Kirrmaier.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's like I had been looking, and it's so funny. I really thought that there would be more... I thought that there would be more options for what I was looking for, but I did my detailed search in Ravelry, and I kept not really... Nothing was quite right.
This is great, though. I love it.
I think it's a nice combination of yarn and pattern.
It is a very similar lace pattern to the Marie Chen, where it had it on either side.
Right.
Where it's like the chevrons and cables.
Yes.
This is real cables, as opposed to the Marie Chen, which had some faux cables.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it's really pretty.
So I finally got onto my second skein of yarn, and I am pulling my needle out.
You are pulling your needle out. Oh my gosh.
Where is the other?
There it is. It's still stuck in there.
It's still in there. Thank goodness.
You're gonna yank all your.
It's
Don't
okay.
yank your stitches off. They're cables and lace.
School finger grippies have come in handy with the knitting.
I do. It really works on a lot of things because they don't slide out very well. And I don't know. I feel like
I usually just pull my needles out and then I tie them in like a loose knot.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to keep them away from my cats and children.
So that is my second big thing. I have a bunch of whips at home. It is, and partly I made myself get into my second skein before I started the Carbeth. I thought it was important not to still be on the first ball, because then it feels like you almost haven't started it yet.
Yeah.
So my goal, my plan for the week is I'm going to work on the Carbeth till I know I want it to be 13 inches to the underarm. So I'm going to work on that till then, and I might work on this a little bit in between just for some variety. But I definitely want to be at that point. And actually, I want to start my sleeves before next Sunday when we have our next knit along on Zoom, and that way, if you're leading a knit along, it just helps to be able to answer questions and show people
to go a little bit ahead. So
exactly.
Like, here's what I do.
Yeah. And but it was funny. One person I love it. She's double dipping, which is totally fine. She's doing a green sweater. She's doing a green sweater knit along, and she's doing our Carbeth knit along. It's totally fine.
Smart.
Go for it. Exactly. Yeah. Multiply your investment in the thing. And so she had already cast on and knit a bit, and it is a really informal knit along. I mean, I of course we all miss the days when we all sat around the table and literally we all cast on together.
Sometime.
But if
sometime soon.
If people are really all working at their own pace and everything, and somebody else had also worked a lot of the body and was already thinking about the sleeves, and so I talked them through how I do my slight modification to do the thumb holes.
Yeah.
And actually I can, well, why don't I explain that when I have that done? And because I'm going to do it on mine again. I love it. The thumb holes for the Carbeth. But, it's just, so I want to be at that point before we talk next Sunday so that I can kind of show people.
I have to say the nice thing about both the knit along and the class via Zoom is that we can record them.
Yes,
so if you miss a session, you don't miss anything.
Exactly.
I mean, you just can't necessarily ask questions live.
Right.
But somebody had to miss Sunday's class because they had another commitment, and I was like, well, I'm gonna send the recordings out on Monday.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to catch up. You won't miss anything.
Right. And actually,
which is nice.
I don't know if it's the same person, but one person who did miss, it wasn't planned, but she had a work thing come up that she had to deal with. She's also in my KAL. So, because when she came in to get her yarn, or when she emailed about a question with it, I'm like, you're going to be knitting all day Sunday, aren't you? And
that out.
Yeah. So, but that's nice.
That's a fun thing.
It's a good thing.
Then it's your knitting day.
Yeah. So I've got a few other things, but I think until these two sweaters are well underway, I'm gonna try to refrain from any. Maybe I'll do a Barrett. We'll see.
So hard.
It's so hard. It's so funny. I used to not be so bad with having cast-on-itis, but
Oh my god, I have such bad cast-on-itis and sleeve islands and other stuff that's just sitting in the back and. Anyway, Hallie, what do you have?
Yeah, what? Yes. Why don't you show us? You were working on a couple of things.
I finally. So, my main whip, I submitted 3 applications.
Well, actually, that's almost like a finished object.
That's
a finished object. So I have 3 more. They'll be in before March 15th, and then that will be done.
Yay.
Except I have to do more because it's like a people thing, but it's never over.
No, it's
Never
never
over.
over. But
Never
at least,
over.
but you made a big milestone of getting your
yes.
things submitted. So,
So,
that is
After
definitely.
March 1st, and I submitted 3 applications, I was very excited. And I had finally gotten my Crojo back
Yes.
because for a while I was like stressed out, like there's stuff to do, but I also want to crochet, but like what do I make? So I have been babysitting for very, very cute little children near us for 10 months now, like
Wow.
long
Wow.
time since,
That's
or
great.
I can't count, it's since August or September, but
Uh-huh.
a while, a
Since
fair
the beginning
amount.
of school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're the cutest, they're my favorites. So Harvey loves his little plastic food kitchen set, and so this is the Munchie Monster in progress by
That's so
Monsters
cute.
Toy Box.
That is so cute.
Alyssa Vosnack of Monsters Toy Box. And I knew her through the Fresh Stitches group, like in 2012. Like she started her own designs and stuff, and
Oh,
she hasn't
fun.
been active in a couple of years, but I definitely remembered this.
Uh-huh.
And so I think it would be perfect. It's one of those like pouch
Mhm.
animals, so you stuff it, but leave the tummy empty so they can put little food in and like
So they can feed their monster.
the Munchie Monster
So cute.
eats the food. So this is the head, and I held it double, and one thing I like about crochet is that the gauge is a lot more forgiving.
Yes.
So I used a G hook with a worsted and a fingering or like a sport to make it a lot denser.
Uh-huh.
Just because
Nice.
I wanted that, like I wanted it to be pretty tight and not have
And
too
you
many
wanted it
holes
to be
because of
colorful
the
and
stuffing.
everything.
Yeah.
Well, and
And-
anything you stuff, you want to make sure.
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
stuffing's not
that's the
gonna come through.
experience that
Yes.
comes with like knowing all the crochet. But so the pattern was written for back loop only, which is where you get the ridges from, and we'll take a picture so you can see up close. But I started with both loops because that's what I've been doing for a lot of my projects in the past long while.
Mhm.
But then I was like, that's a little too dense, so I did want the stretch that comes with the
Back loop.
the back loop only, which is good for like animals, like stuffed animals that kids will hug, like the
Right,
squishiness.
right. You want it to be a little softer.
So
yeah.
this is what we have. It's a cute little
So
monster.
cute.
So cute.
And then
the tummy
the
is.
tummy is like a little bit of like white, and so it'll look like that. And then all of the arms, like I've done
You've done
almost all of it.
almost
Like I'm
done,
so
yeah.
excited. It was like I zoomed through it, so
I
did
love how it's
a little.
it's its own project bag.
Yes,
Yes,
I know.
exactly. Self-project.
I love
So
that. It's
cute.
so cute.
So.
Yeah.
And
we have
also,
a little
his name is
arm.
Harvey, and he's got like bunny ear monsters, just like Harvey the Rabbit from Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's so cute.
So fun. So fun.
Oh,
Yay. And
that's
so,
adorable.
I'm
It's
very
so sweet.
excited about
I'm-
this.
I'm
so
sure
I
you're
like
gonna finish
blew
this in the
through
next few
this.
days.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, how much more do you have to do? What do you have to do? Attach the.
Just finish the inside and then sew it all together.
So basically, and you're probably gonna do pink, I think.
So
right,
yeah,
for,
this
like,
will
the
go
roof of the
inside.
mouth,
Yes. So
basically.
you had a great suggestion that.
so cute.
So like this like goes inside, and the pattern itself does say like there's the increases for the body were like 12 stitches in between the increases, which like it's
At the
not
end,
12
you mean?
increases, but like if you crochet like in the circles, you know that it's like it's 6
Well, you start with
increases in
6
every
and
row,
then, yeah.
but it's like 80 something stitches. And so she suggested, or like the pattern was written to do 7 stitches in between your increases on the inside, so it would be very stuffed. But I'm gonna make it pretty, like I made it the same amount of increases, and I'll lightly stuff it,
Yeah.
so it's not like flat, but it'll just hold more on the inside.
So he can hold more of his little kitchen toys.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
So
And actually, one thing I was just thinking, you might want to do, like, I'm sure we have something at home we could use, because you're going to stuff it less, you might want to do something to reinforce, like, the ears to the back, so that the head stands up, even though the
Yeah.
body is not as full.
Even a
yeah, I'll
piece
have
of
to think about it.
plastic needlepoint canvas will do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
something like that, which I know where that is.
There you go.
There's something else I've been looking for. Oh, well, my sock blockers, I don't know where they are,
Right.
but I know where the plastic needlepoint canvas is.
That's so cute.
And
It's
then like
so
for
cute.
the top,
I
for
can't
the
wait
roof
to
of
see.
the mouth, like the head will be like sewn shut, so it'll go like this. But if
Go
you do like a
chop,
little pink inside, and then
For his mouth,
little
yeah.
felt eyes.
So cute.
So yeah,
Love
so
it.
the inside is just a hole
That's so
Um,
cute. It's
to
like
stuff
a
with food.
double layered basket.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So cute.
Yeah.
So I'm in love
Yeah.
with it.
It's
and
so
I really
fun.
like how
So what is the pattern name again?
it is the
Munch-
Munchie Monster by Alyssa Vosnack of Monsters Toy Box.
And we'll
Very
have to
cute.
send Amanda all of our
Yes, it will
details.
be.
Yes, very cute.
So
Do you have
Very
anything
excited
else
about
on the hooks?
Not on the hooks.
Not quite, but
I
so
did
close.
get
She
the
actually
yarn
bought
for
the yarn.
yesterday. So
She worked on Sunday.
For the same
here.
small, very cute children, I saw a long time ago on the Instagram a hat pattern that looks like a Crayola crayon. Like, it's like the top part of a Crayola crayon.
Oh my
Isn't that
gosh,
so
And I was
cute?
like, that is perfect. I'm so glad someone else thought of this and designed it because
then you didn't have to do it.
you didn't
yes,
have to
it's
worry.
perfect.
Exactly.
So I
And the kids have Crayola masks
yes,
too, you
so
said,
they
right?
do.
So they
have
already
masks
Give
and
me a crayon.
so it's
Love it.
I was like, I want one for myself, but I'll also make it like, just think of like a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old wearing a little Crayola hat with their Crayola mask. Like, oh, it's so perfect. So their favorite colors are blue and pink. So we're gonna do these blue and pink bold, super sugar bush bold with the black like little wiggle
Rockies. Yep.
crayon.
Very cute.
So this, I wanted to start it yesterday, but I couldn't download the pattern on my phone, so I didn't. But I worked on this.
Yeah, you
So-
work more in the monster. He's so
That's-
far
These will
along.
be the
So
colors.
cute.
I'm very
So fun.
excited.
I love it.
And Harvey's head is as big as mine. So
Oh, yeah,
he
children's
has-
heads are huge.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna make like the size I would make for myself. You know?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
you will see that. Those hopefully will go pretty quickly because it's actually the same
It's a similar
kind
construction
of
to Rachy's.
as Rachel's hat. It's vertical.
Uh-huh.
So, but it is like the brim is folded up, so I think it'll be like each row will have color work on it, so it won't go that fast. But
I can't wait to see them. They're
I
going to
want
be
to
so
see
yes,
cute.
I'm very
So
excited. I'm
cute.
very excited. So yay! Oh, and that pattern, that designer is her Instagram is at What Morgan Makes, and that's her Etsy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll
You
tell you
can
have to
find her on Ravelry.
get you that pattern today. And then you've also been really thinking about a temperature blanket. That was the other thing.
Yes,
When I
temperature
came
so
on
I
Sunday,
wanted to discuss that.
Yes.
Because, like, that's more of a, like, big whip, but, like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, whip to be. So Jen definitely very much inspired me. Like, once I saw your color palette, I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm doing one. That's it. So
Love
after,
it.
like, I decided, like, yes, I'll do one. I've been mulling over, because there's, like, millions of variables.
Oh my god.
When you
there's so
decide,
many.
like, once you decide to make a temperature blanket, you're like, okay, now how do I actually do it?
I went on Instagram and that temperature blanket hashtag. There are
That's
so
a good idea.
many options. There's
That's a good idea.
There's
thought you had decided.
granny squares.
No, I decided, but, like, for,
there's
like, the future one.
linen stitch.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
so many.
That's
There's
a good
like
idea. Just for inspiration. I love myself.
low temperature, high temperature, average temperature
My
for granny
favorite
squares.
one.
So many.
I've seen one that we could. I am.
We had a bit of
Persistence.
MacGyver situation going on
Not
here,
the
where
technology.
how many
that's not.
how many people who have not touched an actual honest to god camera can fix a camera problem without
Three of
Amanda?
us. Three
Took
people
three.
Got it done.
fixed the
We
light.
got it
Three
done.
grown
I
women.
knew which was the
answers
camera
three.
bag. That was my contribution.
I found the battery.
Woohoo! We're
Teamwork.
all good. So Haley was talking about her temperature blankets.
So, very excited about my thought process. So, I do like I love your color palette. Like, that definitely inspired me. And I
It's
think
so nice.
I want to do something similar, and I might do it, like, bold, though. Like, I like a
Ooh.
bold jewel tone.
Yeah.
Like, gems. Especially for the first one, because, like,
She wants to make multiples.
so I have this grand
As you do.
theory, this grand plan of, so I'll just explain all of the different things that I've been thinking about. So I was like, yes, I will make one. Then I was like, what year do I do? Because I had
Ooh.
She
the
likes the
idea
idea.
of picking a year that's already happened so I don't have to, like, wait, because
Yes.
I like the idea of being able to do as many rows as I want. I like doing just one row at a time makes me itch.
That is my hardest thing, which is why I haven't worked on it in like a month, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I need like
You need a
30
chunk to
days
be
I
able
like
to
just
work
doing
through.
like one
Yeah.
crochet row is like I can't. It's like
I agree.
Itch, twitch, whatever.
So I was like, okay, I'll do a year that's already happened. What year do I do? I was like, I'll just start with 2000. I was born in 2000. Highly identifies a 2000s baby.
Your
Yeah.
birth year.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
the
so
millennium.
I
did it.
decided, I was like, and then I was like second guessing myself. I was like, well, I was only like on the
6 weeks
planet
of
for
2000.
a month and a half. But then I was like, then I thought, like, I was thinking, like, I was trying to run that by like some of my friends. I was like, do I do a different year? But then I thought, Taylor Swift named a whole album 1989, and she was alive in 1989
weeks.
for 2 weeks. So I can do
There
a
you go.
temperature blanket of 2000. But then I thought, why don't? Because then I was kind of playing with like, do I start in January? Do I start in a specific season so that it's a single gradient instead of like a bookend gradient?
Yeah.
For the finished product. And all my friends said start in January. My one friend Ellie said start with your favorite season, but they're all like it
changes.
cycles so much that's
I know.
like I like
Depends
the
on what
suggestion,
season you're
but
in.
exactly. So then like yesterday I was like, why don't I start on my birthday
That's what I was
in
gonna say.
2000
Yeah.
and do that kind
I love
of
that.
Your first
your
year
first
of
year
life.
of life.
yeah, so
Exactly.
it's like very
Isn't that fun?
personalized.
I love
that. I love that.
So then I was like, I'll do that. I like that idea.
I like that
and
idea.
so then my grand plan is I'll do one for every year I've been alive, which
You're gonna
It's
have
gonna
have a lot of
so many
blankets.
which is
blankets.
exactly that. I'm like, do I give them to people like who have like something that happened in their year, like in that year? But then I like I did a lot of like a little bit of delving
Yeah.
of research into like temperature blankets for inspiration, and people do make them for like anniversary years
Yeah.
and like
a
things like that.
milestone year.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
big things. So then I was thinking, I don't want to. Obviously, that decision is like a lifetime whip, you know.
Right.
But I like that like idea of having that little thing going on in the background. And so I was like, I'll definitely start with 2000s because I like that idea with the birth year, and then I might go to like 2010 because I have more memories. Like I like the idea of doing years where like while you're making it you can like remember like, oh yeah, it was like a really hot week or a really hot month, or
I
like,
remember that snowstorm.
yeah, like
I
something
remember
like
not having
that.
power for
So
10 days when it was 90 degrees.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that kind of
You're like,
thing.
you see that red stripe?
That was
That was
miserable.
pain.
That was all pain.
Yes.
You know, the thing that I also saw on the Instagram thing that I think I'm going to end up doing for this one is to get one of those like leather or faux leather or cork tags
And write the
emboss.
details. Yes.
Yeah,
I
you
was
can
definitely
get
gonna.
custom
I was
ones
almost
where you're
thinking of doing like
2020.
those like embroidery quilt patches that people
Yeah.
put on the
Yes,
back of them.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
this
So you
is
know.
this year. I did this like theme. This was my thought process kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I can go back and look at them. And so then I was like for the first one for this project that I have like started like looking like setting out like picking out different colors and seeing what my color scheme will be. That one's like I'm just gonna do the moss stitch or linen stitch in crochet and just do like stripes.
Yeah.
But then for the other ones, I want to see what all the colors look like
Yeah.
because I like want to maybe pick an interesting one or like that kind of thing if I'm gonna do many of them in the future. And so then we were talking like we should make an Excel and like and people do that where they put
Color codes.
the
so you can see.
the temperatures into an Excel and then see so you can like predict what your color lines will look like.
Yeah.
So then we
That's
can do
what I
that
did
for
to
the
pick
future
that out. I
ones.
based it on last year.
Yeah.
Is to see because I didn't want it to be too much of one or too much of another.
Yeah. So there's
And now
that.
with all this temperature blanket talk, I feel like I really do. I've wanted to make a blanket for a long time. I started making a scrap blanket.
But then you
like
bought yarn
yours.
for it.
I know.
I've done that. I've totally done that. Be like, I'm going to use all my scraps, and then I realized all my scraps are gray and green.
Yeah, exactly. And
I need a
partly,
blue.
I had some scraps, and a lot of them were sugar bush bold. It was just from
But
things
then
that I was
they-
making at that time. And I'm like, oh, but I need to add in a black and, and
Yes.
a bright green and a
I
this.
need this.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
buying yarn for my scrap blanket. But I think so. Maybe mine will just be a scrap blanket and not be a temperature blanket. But I want to do one that's similar to the throw that I did,
yes,
the
like
store
mitered
sample.
squares.
Mitered
To the
squares,
window.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love and I don't know. So I'll have to figure out how many stitches to do. Again, this was on I keep wanting to say Crazy Cat Lady, which obviously is what she was inspired by. The Crazy Sock Lady podcast.
Yes.
She does. She's doing a scrappy blanket. It's what
Well, we went
watched
back-
Is it the north? Have you seen the one that's the arrows? It's like the northwest blanket or the north.
Maybe,
No,
maybe.
Hers was the comfort memories.
Okay.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Which was fingering, but it could literally be the same thing. It's just like a.
Yeah, it's a
But-
mitered square, but it is
But I
four
I
points.
love the idea of doing of like just doing it and adding on. I do not want to seam a million things at the end. Especially that was so fun when I did that.
Because
It
you
was
just pick up and then you do
Yeah.
another square.
Yeah.
Pick up and you do
And-
another square.
and I think what I'll do is I'll really make it continuous and I won't that one you did in strips, but also it was only, it was like knitting scarves. These are going to be narrow, so I definitely do not want to be doing 20 seams at the end.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like if you start with one square and then you add one to the next, and then you can add one above it, and then when you have when you're filling in that L shape, you just pick up the stitches here and pick up the stitches there, and then
So I'm thinking about doing a strip, and then picking up then you join on the side, and then from there on you'd be doing the L thing. That's so maybe when if I'm not feeling like doing either sweater, maybe I'll start on that too.
Because then it's little bits and little chunks.
Yeah, and even if I wind up making that I'll do 4 rows or something if they're not too big. Maybe then I'll stop so that it's a little more portable, and I'll do another strip and then seam them at some point. Yeah,
that sounds good.
So
we should go to. Do you have any more, Kelly?
That is what I have in this moment.
I'm telling you, go look at the temperature blanket hashtag.
Yes.
Yeah,
my
definitely.
favorite one that I've
Definitely.
seen. Oh, did I say this? I think I was starting to say it earlier. I'll put a picture because I can find it. The high-low curve is this blanket is the craziest one I've seen, where she did the low on one side and the high on the other, and did the sun curve of the daylight time.
Oh my god, that's so much plotting.
It turned out to be 9 feet by 9 feet.
Because she didn't do the math 10.
Do the math, because otherwise you're 365 rows. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it kind of is a lot.
They had to find a bridge to hang the whole thing for a picture.
But that's also why
a big blanket.
I'm gonna do my scrappy thing and see that way it'll give me an idea of how much distance it is to do a year, so that if I ever do want to do one, and I like the idea of doing squares and then kind of having the meander back and forth.
Yeah,
I think that sounds kind of
fun.
I like it. Yeah.
You could almost. I was thinking of doing one the flower kind of the little mini ones, those kind of things. You could almost do a row per month.
Like a mini granny square
but
thing?
Then those flower, just you make a little flower. Yeah, it's almost like a hexie puff, but it's a flower.
Mm-hmm.
If you do people do temperature blankets for that, you could do 12 rows by 30, but then the ends would be a little
maybe
wacky.
Or you would get a little.
Oh yeah, you'd need to do something on the months that didn't.
For February.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a little dent.
Well, yeah, summer 30,
but
summer 31. Cute. You could just do gray or black or white or something. You could fill them in
the border.
Yeah,
that's cute too.
Alright,
we should talk about what's new in store. Otherwise, you guys are going to be sitting here for the length of the movie.
So we did talk about the Imperial
yarn in the
so
sport
nice.
cabinet.
So nice. One thing, and I didn't pull anything else. We do have so much chill. We can pop in the picture that we used in the newsletter.
So much
the
chill.
two pictures.
Hilarious.
I took one picture of the 42 bags that we had gotten, literally over 400 balls of yarn on the table in the back. So there are a dozen colors that we have been out of, some of them since November. I mean, talking about the whole, distribution issues and things like that. So yeah, we have alabaster again.
Yay.
We even have diamond, which is their white, but it is barely perceptibly different. So that is not even out on the floor right now. If somebody wants it to finish a project, we have it. But we're going to work through our alabaster and then go on to our diamond. So yeah, we have pictures of that we can pop in.
Which is, if you're ever looking for, it's great for beginners to learn on chill, and it's super bulky, so it goes really quickly.
Yeah.
It's nice when you're working on small accessories, even as the weather starts getting warmer, to basically be no, I can bang this out. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's some.
Oh, I love it. With
I
another
love
topped pom-pom.
Yes. And this is, the red on red. So the other thing I was thinking is, if people do want to stock up and get going on some holiday gifts for next year.
This is a great time to start doing it. You could bang out a hat a month or a headband.
Yes.
Or a hat a week.
A week.
This is a few hours of knitting.
Everybody.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we are 8 days of Hanukkah, 8 days of hugs.
We are well stocked in chill again. Just in time for spring, but we use it for our one-on-ones. We do sell it year round, so I'm just happy that we have a full stock and we don't have to keep rearranging the shelves to see how do we show 9 colors where we usually have 20.
Yes, but we have so many colors.
And actually we'll probably show this in more detail in our next podcast, but we are getting a new to us yarn for Wool Folk. of. So we will.
Tub is so pretty.
We will have that. Yeah, I'm so
I'm
excited
excited
because
for that.
there's a sweater that I want to make that uses the flat boucle and then top for the necklines. So
Because what weight is Tub? Tub is
it's DK as well.
right?
Yeah, it's DK as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
so
so there's.
exciting.
I have more plans for him rearranging that wall to incorporate our additional new yarns
And Wolfolk is really great because their colors are consistent over the
from line to
from
line.
line to
Yeah,
line.
which
so
is
if there's
really
a
cool.
color that you love in like far or flat,
mhm.
like odds are good that
Mhm.
there's a color that you're gonna love in the new wool one.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Wolfolk one.
I think
My
the Tav and Flet, I think their palettes are completely overlapping because they do. There were patterns where they use them both, and Far has a bigger palette. I think there are more than 30 colors of Far.
Yeah,
where they're
because that's
only,
their worsted.
Right, and
That's
it's
the
so delicious.
It's
Um,
so beautiful.
So, and actually, I guess one more thing we can say is that during Wool Walk, we are going to be having the Woolfolk Trunk Show with us.
Very
for the 9
excited
days
for
of that. Did I not tell you
No,
that?
you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So that
That's
means that we're going to be able
amazing.
to show you all of the different garments that you can make with
Mhm.
Wolfolk, and you can come and
Oh
touch
my
them.
gosh.
Yes.
that's
Feel
gonna
them.
be
If
Snuggle
you
them.
can come visit us in
Amazing.
person.
Love them.
And you know, we probably should we'll do a little mini session at least on that for the folks who can't travel to be
A
here.
little show and tell.
Yeah.
Make Haley model.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We did that last time. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that
So
was-
so whether we do it live or not, you know, we'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe we
Okay.
just
Yeah.
maybe we just record it.
We could record it.
Yeah, we could record it.
That
and
would be
then
fun.
that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that is it. We have been super chatty. We're so
We're
happy to be
super
back
chatty.
together.
Because we're in
Tell.
person.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
And, yep. So so I guess parting thoughts. If you can get your vaccine, do it. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
Do it today. I'm so
Do
excited.
public health.
Yep. It's an important thing. And keep wearing your masks when you're out in public, and keep
Even
it
if
6
you've got
feet
your
apart.
vaccine, wear
Yeah.
your mask.
Yes.
And you know, we look forward to hearing your comments always.
Yep.
And we look forward to
100%.
seeing you soon. All right. Take care.
Bye.